AI is taking over jobs and you can maneuver. It is in absence of hard work, resources, experience, and safety net, you're able to maneuver and make choices which make you satisfied and which make you feel good. This is going to be our case. It's going to be meaning win, or like this goal within, is not only good but also supports you in achieving it, and supports you in failure. And secondly, why this is the only path towards meaning. So how do you make these goals? Because opening government is quite vague here. First, it is influenced by parents, and no, this is good. They're both really experienced and know things about life and know things about market and stuff happening around you, but they're also well-meaning. But thirdly, they're also more likely to support you to failure. They're financially better off than you. They're more like better off in life generally. If you do things that they advise you to do and are probably good for you, they're more likely to be there for you when you fail. They're more likely to be there for you every step of the way. Secondly, you're in school, you're within the system. The system wants you to be a productive worker. The system does not want you to use drugs. It wants you to be healthy so you're not on welfare. You're likely also to be moved in that direction, but also have system support. If you're a good student, you have a scholarship, then you don't have to work your ass off in 3 jobs in Croatia because you cannot afford to live somewhere. If you're good within the system, then you get away. If your job, and if you run out of a job because of a change in the market, then the government feels as if they owe you money because of what happened and owe you to make sure that you're able to get a different job. Yet even if you fail, the system is there to back you up. Thirdly, you're young and you're not nihilistic, which means that you're more likely to have optimism, to be willing to put in the work, to be able to find a routine. The reason why majority of young people are let it rot mentality is because we never built a routine and everything seems so structure and stability in your life in the way, because you're more likely to choose good things which make you good in society and a good friend and a good parent and a good daughter or son to your parents. Secondly, you're more likely to have support and safety net in achieving these goals. When you're feeling bad, your unit is more likely to give you help. For example, when you're doing badly, your parents are more likely to give you help. Your friends are more likely to give you help, and the system is more likely to give you help. You also have more guidance. People are doing. They're more likely to help you give you advice in the future. At last, if you work, if you're consultant, if you're a doctor, if you're a lawyer, even if you're doing a real job, which is a good progress, they're also paid. Then do decide you need a shift in your life. Maybe moving somewhere, but still being a family guy. You need to say about your job. You have the same need to pivot, and it's crucial for you to pivot to save your life. In the safety and have the choices to job. Why does that actually give you the meaning? It's only a question examining the reason why there's a crisis of being. For some reason, the feeling that the system is the system is falling apart. The first feeling that the system is even if the system is changing, you must have responsibility. First is the routine. Even if there is it's so difficult. You have to really waking up, studying, your parents, going classes and finishing your all meaningful finish, because in order to pursue something, you have to look at every piece of the set is also meaningful. You're achieving something, you're making they know that they accept the value the most. They know that they did all the paths right. Like even if your job is wiped out, you know you did everything that your role was supposed to, like that you were supposed to do in your role. This also gives you meaning in life. Thirdly, there's repetition and indoctrination, which gives you the rationalization. I remember when I was young, we didn't have a lot of money, but my parents and my mom, who grew up without a mom, always told me, this is my biggest dream. I never got a family, now I have you. Look, rich people, they get divorced all the time. Their families don't like each other as much as we love each other when we spend time together, as opposed to going and doing things with money. This is the type of rationalization you have when you have one goal in life. She wanted to be a mother, and every time things go to shit, she just looks at us and reminds herself of how happy she is, even though everything else in life maybe went to shit. And lastly, the investment, knowing that you care for someone and knowing that there's always someone caring for you. This is why it's good to have a relationship, because you always feel like there is someone to share internal dialogue with. There's always someone there to take care of you, to look after you. No one is going to leave you behind, and you're not going to be alone fighting against a system that you feel is ever changing. This is the stability, knowing you're doing the steps, knowing what the steps are, knowing you have help along the way. But secondly, you're also likely to be more successful within the system, even though you feel the system is falling apart. Firstly, because you have a comparative advantage. There's a huge cultural let it rot within young people, meaning that you're more fixed, you're more hardworking, you're more likely to look like a better option to employ or to have family with, etc., than other people. Secondly, as I said, there is a safety net, but thirdly, there's a narrowness of mind. You're less preoccupied with other shit. Croatia is extremely corrupt, but my mom always tells me, if you work and you love your family, life is going to be good, because you're preoccupied with this preoccupied with. And lastly, you're more anchored. Goals are there, they're tangible. You lived your whole life, your microcosmos in your work, which is what gives you meaning. Go.
If your parents and schooling system are good, they can teach you how to make good decisions under a flow state. Even if they give you a system on your
I'm going to talk about this now. So why can you not achieve this in flow state? Firstly, because things for you are oftentimes, even if your parents teach you how to make choices, it is not to make them right. Everything is how do you choose the best one? Everything is me. Secondly, you're not to have a family. You're not to have these a nice experience in the end of the day. It's extremely easy to not have a it is extremely easy to be lazy and nothing feels fulfilling. Make you happy and make you something bigger than life, something else to experience. You don't see at the end of the day, all of that, in your life.
Remember those remarks. Now invite
Is it? Ah, yeah. I did. No, but you see. I know it's cringe because it's like a small comp, but I realized that I've never thanked him, actually. So, yeah, I guess. Zizek once said that the problem with our fish focused on the new job opportunity, that we forget that we can devote ourselves to others. And here is where he suggests a solution. A life well lived is one of devotion, not to yourself, but to others. The CO case here is the following. Focus leads to selfishness, relationship deterioration, and immoral life. We prefer to live a life flow to the person and this community that matters. The first thing that we want to prove is love to the world. Is selfish, mean, and judgmental. Why do we become selfish when we think of ourselves? Because the more you think about your goal refinement, it requires so much thought. As always, I'm narcissist. It is important to us, which gives us values cognitively. We start thinking of ourselves as if we are more than other people. We prioritize our priorities over those of others. And justifying why we're provide unique to them, but this is just foolish arrogance. And the more you prioritize yourself, also what you want to be, there is something of the dependence that you start entering, and just start following the system. So even if you which by the way is very from middle person who is job, you need the high order and why the goal that you choose is going to be bad. Because the system in which we live, that they should be others. It is not necessarily that I'm going to choose myself, but setting aside, be more just naturally produces more cortisol because it cares for your survival and anything that you want to be, the type of job that you want to pursue. And this is why on average you're just more selfish in a more selfish position. But also secondly, you just become much more judgmental because you convince yourself that this is something necessarily something of a trade-off, and you have to justify it constantly because you will face hardships, you will see down and saying, no, they actually chose the wrong path. But the problem with this is that you start doing it to everybody. Everybody who lives differently than you is somebody that is wrong. Homeless people deserve what's happening to them, because what you need empathy is because the only thing that comes out of their life is saying, why did they not choose what I chose? Every transactional, every relationship you enter is not the other person, but how the other person makes you feel, how the other person makes you feel as a control of the it is not about others in our relationship, it is about me and the comments on it. Because I know who I am. I don't care who Alex is. It's so relate your relationship. And it's over the years because you become more selfish because of is one that for caring for others. Because caring for others is something real. Only for go optimizing this will be rational. You need to let go of you need to let your partner that maybe you are not there to them. Can be vulnerable to vulnerable because you need to consider your role of money based on your face. You need to go back all of the years that you just say, I don't know, this is something that the other side not ready to do. So you care about the other person because you care about yourself and you care them. You have empathy. The more people I get exposed, the more I get about these people, the more I'm likely to care about them. This is why people that any exposure to the most happening in the dark, they just don't know what to say. Maybe one person saw a video of a child in Gaza and gives you empathy. Knowledge alone this is spontaneous. More exposed to the struggling of others that you're likely to relate to it, you're likely to want to uplift them, and note that you are also much likely to be towards good goals. I want to be like Naruto because this is what I wanted, but all of this comes with very big risk tolerance that they're just unlikely to have on their side of the house, because the risk is what pivots you from the focus that you have. On our side of the house, you have this comparative risk tolerance. Obviously, we have better them. And even if those relationships are shorter, they mattered more because they were less transactional and you were not exposed to this deterioration over the years. Note that happiness only matters when it is shared, because you tend to have a record of your life with people that congratulated you on that promotion, that somebody acknowledged you, and only on our side of the house are you able to get that. So being a good person just matters, because our